Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Happy Monday to you. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. We're taking a quick peek, of course, here at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on. This is a extremely bipolar type of trading situation. So I would not recommend trading Bitcoin at this exact moment, but again, we are breaking free from this previous resistance at about 91.5 and effectively in a pretty decent position here, potentially to see the price go higher. But again, these pumps and dumps are just very outrageous, very difficult to trade. But the one thing that remains true is that most altcoins doing well today. So if you are going to be trading in either direction, I would say longs to the upside makes a lot more sense in the overall situation here. Just granted, as soon as Bitcoin loses 90,000, we're probably going to see a bad day for a lot of altcoins. So make sure you watch your altcoin trades or Bitcoin trades too, whatever you decide you want to do. So do me a favor before we get started here, hit the like button, comment below. Really deeply appreciate that. Hope you can learn something today. And if you want to become a better trader, again, cryptocash.tech is a site. Link down below. We're going to look at high block capital here first, kind of just get an idea of our liquidation levels and go from there. And just a quick heads up, as per usual, you'll see this with a lot of different services. They are up to about 70% off of a discount. So use my link down below. You'll get an additional discount. Black Friday sale for these guys. They are awesome. It really just helps get perspective on the overall market. So when we look at this here, we're looking at the last 12 hours here. Essentially, we can see a lot of liquidation just below 90,000, about 89.5 or lower. And of course, just above our most recent high here at about 92.8 and effectively upwards of 94,000. So again, 93 to 94 as a round number is a good area of liquidation. So if you're going to consider a long, consider securing profits somewhere before 94K. Just that way, if the price does pull back on you, you're actually able to get in and out, right? That's the concept there. Again, liquidation just kind of tells us where we're at with a lot of heavy liquidation delta. Actually, speaking of delta, let's look at this here first. When we look at this is actually unique here because Bitcoin, it's been a while since we've seen more shorts than longs for Bitcoin. But it makes sense to try to short Bitcoin right now because it's getting close to its all-time high, right? Generally speaking, you're going to find better retracement at all-time highs there. It's going to work as a resistance in most cases. So we can see here the liquidation delta is closer to about 2 billion. It's getting closer to zero, truthfully, with this most recent pump to destroy a lot of shorts. In fact, we had to close our short position open with Bitcoin just because it got honestly, a little out of control, honestly. And again, when we look at this here, we can kind of recognize that, we offset that short trade with a long from OP, good 31%. I'll cover that later. But yeah, we did have to manually cancel our trade a little early. I just like to be safer than sorry, honestly, folks. And, again, there's a situation right now where it's so weird. Like the price action should break to the upside. It makes a lot more sense. We're going to see all-time highs, maybe even as soon as today. But on the same accord, there's so many reasons why the price action should pull back because this is just an outrageous price point for Bitcoin. Again, that means nothing. It means very little in this market right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at the daily time frame and work our way down. Last thing I want to look at is open interest. Let's just double check this. I'm curious where we got the most amount of positions. We can see 90,500 and roughly 89.7. So we've known about 89.7. That's a support level for us, but a new level developing is 90.5 and 91.5. 91,500 is that local resistance over the weekend. I talked about that on Saturday. We'll see it a little easier when we zoom in. But for right now, today, we're looking pretty solid here in the overall sense. I mean, I'm just drawing this out really quick, but 91,000, we've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attempts to break it. Today, so far, we are tentatively above that right now. So we close at 91K or higher, it would seem sensible to take a long to that $94,000 range, okay? So just kind of throwing it out there. Let's double check the moving averages. Of course, daily time frame is going to be very skewed. We're not going to really get a lot of information from this, just besides the fact that we're still very bullish, and there's no reason to really consider a short, at least a short to the ground, right? Now, our short position, the plan is just to take a quick, 20-30%. That's generally the concept. And again, that's a 10x leverage trade. So we're looking for, a 1 to 2x movement, 1 to 2% move. So if you're considering a short, I would not recommend trying to short all the way down to 70K. While that is a possibility, it's a very unlikely likelihood, okay? So it's not really all that realistic to see that. So just some friendly advice, if you're going to short within reason, within these margins and these ranges that we're in, I don't think we're going to see anything below 86.5 for the moment until we break that level, okay? Okay, so 4-hour time frame. This is a good little time frame to kind of help identify some trends and more so support and resistances. So, outside of Fibonacci retracement, we can take a look here. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 attempts to break this $91,600 range. Okay. So with that being said, hold on one second. Sorry, guard dogs on duty there. Anyways, the whole point of me mentioning this level here is that 91,500. It was worked as a really strong resistance over the weekend. Today it's been tested and broken a few times, but we can presume that 91.5 is the new area of consideration for a long. That's, and also 91,000 closing above that on the daily. Those are two areas of support. So to me, I'm going to be looking for a closure in that range today. As long as we're not below that, it would spell likelihood of further upside. Okay, so again, we can see here 91.5 as that previous resistance turn support. So I kind of highlighted that before that this could happen. Obviously, it never truly moves the way that you want it to. In hindsight, it technically did. It just didn't continue any lower, and it continued back up. So we're seeing a ton of support at 90K, by the way. So 89.7/90K, that's that area of significant support. So let's take a look here at the RSIs and double check a few things. We can recognize RSIs above 50. That's still very bullish in the overall sense. We've basically just been maintaining this RSI range for a long time, which is generally favorable to the upside. It implies Bitcoin should move upwards. We can see stochastics trying to swing down. We can see money flow index jumping around. That generally tells us with the MFI jumping around. Again, this is a weekend with lower volume. It tells us there's some issues with volume consistency, which of course that makes sense. So I would recommend on Mondays, don't read too far into the money flow index because it factors in a low volume weekend, which we did see this weekend. MACD is converging, or trying to converge rather. It's almost there, and if it does converge, then obviously we'll probably already be halfway to 94K by then, but the general consensus is that that's a very bullish sign, and we're almost there. So a lot of good little things are pointing up here for the moment. Ichimoku cloud, we're maintaining above the cloud. We have been for some time. Oddly enough, we broke below here, but instantly recovered. And then we can see here both attempts to break below. We never truly got those candlestick closures below the 89,700 mark. So 89.7, round number 90K. Until we close below that level, we can presume the price will maintain above and continue higher. We can see our point of control here too, just to kind of clarify if you zoom out a little bit. The local point of control here, we can see is 90,500. That's very similar or synonymous with what we saw here with open interest. We have the most amount of interest at 90.5. So 90.5, 91,000, and even 91.5 are three areas of support. Again, they're not going to be instant, perfect. The price comes down to that level and instantly bounces. But, again, with this kind of price action, albeit choppy, it's kind of proving that this 90 to 91.5K range is a pretty solid support. So the likelihood of further upside is greater because of that. Only thing I would just exercise caution on is just a simple fact that Bitcoin is it's massively overextended. It's super high in price, and honestly, from a bigger picture, as far as what should happen, we shouldn't see much more upside based on that. However, all the data here is telling us that we should experience further upside. Let's take a quick look at the weekly. I forgot to touch on this here since we are in a new week. I'd like to just kind of review this. We're going to be above all moving averages as per usual, and we're still above 70 on the RSI. So key takeaway here is that we are in a bullish uptrend, and this is a lot of reasons why further upside would make sense, considering the simple fact that we are, again, on the right side of the tracks there. MACD is converging. Everything is looking great, and we had a super high volume week last week. As long as we can continue to maintain that volume moving forward, I think we're probably going to see the price action continue higher. Okay. So again, a lot of this hinges on volume. If we don't have money flowing into Bitcoin, we're going to have a world of problems there. So that's kind of where we're at there. Oh, only thing else I forgot to look at here, and I didn't actually see here, we did have a CME gap over the weekend that was instantly filled. So all good there. Nothing really to worry about. Okay. Yeah. So no CME gaps minus the previous one at 77, basically 78K to 80.5K. I've already highlighted that in our community there, but just future reference, those that could get filled eventually. That's another reason why I felt like taking a short was a good idea. At this point, we're just seeing way too much support between 90, 91, and 91.5. So, all right, I'll post our playout chart here on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord here in just a moment. I do want to say again, thank you so much again for always liking the videos, commenting below. Deeply appreciate the support, and just, who you are. You're awesome. Thank you so much again. So, hope you have a good rest of the day. We'll see you the next one. Have a good one. Thanks again for your time. Take care. Bye-bye.